Good afternoon, it's sunny, it's cold, and this is where Arsenal's defence of the FA Cup begins here at Nottingham Forest. Arsenal, the most successful side ever in the FA Cup, take on a team who've got their own success to boast. But I guess for Forest, and there's a reminder of it here in the corner of the City ground, their success is from slightly longer ago. 2 wins in the FA Cup of their own, and of course those 2 famous European trophies back in 1979 and 1980 as well. But today, 2 Cup Kings go toe-to-toe in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. Positivity, are you feeling confident today?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Some positivity from the stewards. We were chatting earlier. I said, they were saying, oh, it's going to be hard with Arsenal in tow. I said 9 changes for Arsenal today, and she said, right, we're going to win today. So the stewards are feeling positive. What about the Forest boy? And of course, Martin Keown's with us as well. So the place where you made your debut.
Yeah, emotional times.
Do you like coming back?
It's amazing. I mean, just looking around, I used to clean boots over there, hundreds of them, even on Christmas Day, run around this track. Yeah, I mean, this is where it all started for me, so it's a special place.
And memories of that game against Wolves in this competition?
No, I didn't have much time to think about it. Yeah. I got a phone call the day before to say I was going to be starting, and before I knew it, I was out here playing, for my home club in front of my family, looking as skinny and scrawny as ever. Didn't get a size choice in those days in terms of your kit. It was like, this is your kit, wear it.
This is your top and you're wearing it.
Yeah, so enjoyed it.
Well, Martin, it's lovely to see you with us as well. We found a goal that you've scored here. They're a collector's item, aren't they? Only 8 goals for the Arsenal.
Well, I actually forgot I scored here, but
really?
I was more actually thinking about Ron Atkinson when he went into the wrong dugout. Do you remember that all those years ago? But I scored the winning goal that day.
And listen, when you don't score many, you can celebrate how you like. That's
correct.
For sure. The magic of the Cup is alive and well, isn't it? We saw a few shot results yesterday. Credit Coventry.
A difficult team. That's going to be an interesting replay, that one.
And some people will try and tell you that the FA Cup isn't what it once was. All you need to do is take a look at what happened today between Newport and Leeds and see the reaction for Newport. Getting the winner is wonderful. So there you go. Already today, Newport 2, Leeds 1. Shrewsbury also doing well, currently holding West Ham to a goalless draw. It's also Tottenham 0, Wimbledon 0, and as you know, the last game of the day is right here, Forest against Arsenal. It's going to be interesting, this one today, Martin, isn't it? 9 changes for Arsenal today. It's exactly the same number of changes Chelsea made yesterday, and they found it tough going against Norwich, didn't they?
It will be tough. I know that Forest are struggling a little bit, but there's a lot of academy players, and there are for Arsenal today too, but they're without the experience that some of the Forest players have. So a lot resting here today with the likes of Welbeck coming into the side. He's been an outstanding player over the years, but I'm not sure if he's really at it this year. He played brilliantly in the cup final last summer, and this is a chance for Welbeck to say, look, I should be in that Arsenal first team.
And you know what, a good start and a full house. Forest will make this hard for Arsenal.
It's very important, though, Jake, for them to do that. They've had games against the bigger sides in recent times where when they do go a goal under, they seem to capitulate. So I think having a strong start, get this crowd going, has got to be one of the first things that Gary Brazil will have asked his side tonight.
OK, well, back in the day, not too long ago, I hasten to remind you, Jermaine was the 2nd most expensive teenager in the world.
Billboards up there in the stands of what the club has achieved.
I think it's something that Forest fans have missed out on in recent years, and I'd love to be able to be a driving force in repairing them. Forest is a fantastic club for giving youth opportunities.
The academy is something that we pride ourselves on. We're not just producing players of any quality, we're producing players of a high quality, and that's thanks to the work behind the scenes of all the coaches, Gary Brazil in particular.
There's a lot spoke about the academy and the returns that we're giving on the investment now, which is fantastic for the business. These players don't get a game because they're young players and Gary Brazil knows them. These boys are getting a game because they deserve to get a game.
I've known Gaz for 5 or 6 years now. He was obviously the academy manager, and he gave me my first scholarship.
He's a little bit old school, in fairness. He won't take anyone not doing anything right, and me and him get on really well, so I'm thinking that I must have done something right along the way, and I've worked with him for many years and it's very enjoyable for me, I must say.
Both of them are a really good example of what you can achieve in the game if you come in every day and you work really, really hard.
The one ethic that everyone is taught is hard work.
We used to clean the first team players' boots.
It was black boots or bust, that was it. You had black boots or nothing.
You still have to sing in front of the first team at Christmas to get your boot money.
And if you bought some coloured ones, then they made you colour them in Sharpie.
I think I sung Robbie Williams' Angels, I think.
It's all the little things that, I'm laughing about now and look back on that you think are quite insignificant, and actually they're the things that stand you in good stead moving forward.
It does teach you that the discipline you need, and actually you're a peg below the first team. You really need to work hard, and maybe you might get your boots clean one day.
Because they come through, you know, they have a thing for the football club. They're an academy player. The badge means a hell of a lot to them, and they're very proud to represent the football club.
It's glory for the Gunners.
To bring Arsenal to the City Ground, third round of the FA Cup. It's on the telly. If you're not looking forward to that, and that doesn't give you the butterflies, then you're in the wrong business.
Everyone's just looking forward to it. I don't think I'm going to be able to get enough tickets for it. I think if it's sold out, the majority of it will be my family and friends.
It's a good test for me, obviously being a defender, to come up against the likes of Ozil, Sanchez, Giroud, whoever plays. But no, it'll be a good day.
You know, when you get a big tie like this against Arsenal, a really tasty tie like this, everyone's going to want to come and get a part of it. So it'll be so nice to experience it on the right side of the advertising boards.
Two young talents there, and there's plenty in the Forest team today. 7 of the starting 11 today, aged 23 or under. When you were coming through the academy system here, it was almost the place to be, wasn't it? The reputation was second to none.
It was. You know, heard the lads talking then. A lot of that was down to the coaching. You know, even from a very young age, I was at the club from 7 years of age, and the club was very forward-thinking. The DNA of the club was to play the game in the right way, and it wasn't just about producing footballers. It was about, you know, producing men as well. You know, with manners and so on. The way you conducted yourself around the city, around the club, was always watched upon by the coaches. But you know, the likes of myself, Andy Reid, Michael Dawson, you know, you name it, all these players coming through, Jamal Lascelles at Newcastle, now with Cardallo, they keep churning out these players, and they need to do it. And the one thing I used to love when I was in the youth team was that feeling of knowing it was achievable to play for this football club.
And it's not just about nurturing talent, it's about finding talent at other clubs and bringing them here for a bit of experience. And they've got a gem in Kieran Dowell, haven't they?
They certainly have, and he just blends in really nicely, plays off the front, really important player, and I think he could cause a bit of damage today. And I like this, the way they're so collective. They're a youth team that's now playing in the first team effectively, and they've got the youth team manager in charge. So there's a unity, and they're trying to sort of regrow this club. They've always been, you know, a club that's produced young players. They've always been great lads. I was in the England setup with likes of Clough and Franz Carr and these types of players as youngsters, Chris Fairclough, well-behaved, good players, proper pros, under Brian Clough, and that's gone through the club. It's still there. They've just got to rekindle the past. Today's a good day to start by knocking out the holders of the FA Cup. It's going to be a difficult game for Arsenal today.
Yeah. It's a young starting 11 today for Forest involved today. Let's talk about one of the young players, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. You both seem...
He's gained one of the biggest things you need to achieve as a younger player, and that's trust in your manager. And he's come up against some of the top players in the Premier League, and Arsene Wenger said, you know what, I stand by you, I believe in your ability. And that's one of the best things you can have as a young player.
Don't forget to click subscribe.